Hey guys, quick disclaimer on today's video. I'm not a lender. I'm not a financial institution. I am not employed by or hired as a consultant to any financial institutions or lending institutions that could provide a line of credit and or a loan to move forward into property. Today's video is my opinion as an investor, developer, realtor, and it's me sharing with you what I know and what I've experienced in the difference between a home equity line of credit and a refinance as an opportunity. So please stick around. If you have any questions, I'm happy to get on the phone and answer them, or comment below and I'll do my best to get back to you. Enjoy, guys. Hey guys, thanks for being here today. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the difference between a home equity line of credit and a refinance as a investment opportunity and potentially a means to access the equity you've built in your house over the last however many years. It's an important conversation right now because I'm helping people get out of home equity lines for various reasons. And I think what I'll do is I'll start with a conversation about what a home equity line of credit is, the pros and the cons. Then we'll talk about a refinance, the pros and the cons, and at the end of which I'll give you my advice as far as which you should be in right now or which you should be pursuing. It's a very dynamic conversation with rising interest rates, and let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, first and foremost, home equity line of credit. That is basically some sort of a financial institution giving you a line of credit against the equity in your home. If you bought your house within the last 5 years, you probably have 50 to 100% equity in your house. That's pretty cool and quite a bit of equitable gain over those years. That's specifically what I'm talking about. A home equity line. I did a lot of research on this specifically here in Idaho through credit unions and banking institutions that are willing to offer home equity lines. Not all lenders will, not all banks will for that matter, but a home equity line of credit is sort of a niche product and has quite a few different offerings. I've seen it go from 70% of available equity in the home accessible through the home equity line to as much as 90%. What I've found in the past is take everything they'll give you because you spend some of it and you wish you'd asked for the whole amount. So when I took a home equity line out of my house in 2020, it was like didn't need an appraisal, and they would do an estimation of value and give me up to 70% of that. How much I wanted did determine the interest rate. Back then, it was like a 4.75, and I took the original estimation of value, which gave me access to something crazy like $200,000 worth of equity. And then I decided, you know what, I'm going to get the appraisal and free up that extra $70,000, which actually it did free up $70,000 more of equity to have the home appraised. There was a cost to the appraisal, but none of the rest of the process had a single cost associated. And it had me pretty excited about home equity lines of credit. Zero cost to get them. You can borrow the money. If you're not using it, there's no cost. That's another huge value add. If I'm not using the money, my mortgage stays in the same. Nothing changes on the cost of the home until I decide to access that. And if you take that money out, have a plan to put it back. And that's so a good segue into the next piece, but just to continue to double down on the advantages of a home equity line, we'll say no cost, interest rates are competitive. Variable is the kicker. I wouldn't say all home equity lines are variable rates. I would say the ones that I've seen are. You probably can find somebody who can give you a home equity line of credit that does not have a variable rate. If you can get that, get it, because simple interest, right? You borrow it, you pay money on it. For every dollar you put back into your home equity line, your cost per month goes down. I think that's a cool opportunity and something worth considering as you're trying to access the equity of your home. The downside to a home equity line of credit, first and foremost, it is a variable rate. If you have one that isn't, keep it. If you don't, you're probably hurting right now, because I know people took hundreds of $1,000s out of their homes for variable expenses and or investments, and their rates went from the high fours, low fives to the low nines. And potentially, if the feds keep raising rates, you could see it as bad as a 10% home equity line of credit. If you've got $100,000 out on your home equity line, that's a significant difference in cost. So you'll hear a lot of talk about fixed debt. Fixed debt investing against fixed debt makes sense. Investing against variable rate interest is speculation at best. And I would say be careful doing that. So when somebody comes to me today and they say, well, it doesn't make sense to refinance into a fixed rate debt, I say, well, that depends on what you expect to happen next. What I like about the home equity line is if you're making chunks of money, you could throw a chunk of money at it and knock down the cost, but you're going to be at the mercy of the variable of the interest rate, which can take something from $600 a month to $1,300 a month in the course of a year, which is what we've seen happen over this last year. So if you're in that position, text me. I know people that can help you, or a comment below. Get in touch with me. I'll put a link down in the comments here too, so you can get on my schedule. But we should talk about it because there could be a very good opportunity for you to refinance even at today's rates in order to close the loop on the variable rate. And then you also can amortize over 30 years, which can make the payment better than your current payment. And if you're in a situation where your income is not creating the opportunity to put the money back that you've taken from the home equity line, it might be time for a refinance. So let's talk about refinances. Refinance, it really depends on what you're living. Is it an investment? Is it a primary? We can get into a long conversation about that. But refinance as a product, generally speaking, is you're taking a loan that you already have, or you're taking a variable rate product like the home equity line, and you're refinancing it into some amortization schedule. Could be 15, 20, 30-year amortization schedule of fixed debt over time. And it creates a predictable payment schedule for more time than you'll probably keep the loan product. The good news about it is you don't have to pay out of pocket for it in most instances. I'm sure somebody's going to comment below and say, well, in some cases. So in some cases, you will pay out of pocket for a refinance. But in my experience, they're happy to roll the cost of the product back into the mortgage itself, meaning it's not an out of pocket cost. And if you're a leverage guy, like I'm a leverage guy, that's exactly what I want. And in an up market, you're going to see us refinancing in order to pull equity out. Uh, refinanced, sorry, refinance capital cash out. The cash you take out in a refinance is a non-taxable event, guys. That's a big deal in an up market. Of course, we're not in an up market right now. We're in a flat market with a minor decline and rising interest rates. So my advice, take variable rate interest and fix it through a refinance. It could be a marginal advantage, but right now I'd take a marginal advantage over the disadvantage of potentially higher interest rates with no exit strategy. So fix your debt when you can, guys. Take the longest amount of time you can at the best interest rate you can get. And I've got players on my team that can help you do that. You may want to consider subscribing to the channel. I hope to share a lot of information with you via video. This is sort of a new medium for me, but as I get rolling, I'm going to talk about new versus old, the opportunity, how you create cash flow in this environment, etc. And not to mention, we do a monthly market stats update, and I'll also be showing you some highlighting some builders in the area. For those of you, I'm a big advocate of new construction right now, considering the cost against resale, and I want to help you out. So comment below, like it if you like it, share it with your friends, and I'll hope to hear from you soon. Take care, guys.